Cooking for Health brings you nutritional information and tips, as well as cooking demonstrations and healthy recipes by local chefs. Cooking for Health is brought to you by First Choice Community Healthcare, Agricultura Network, and La Cosecha. Special thanks to Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Mexico for funding this project. Thank you for joining us, and check out the rest of our videos to see healthy recipes to share with family and friends.
All right, so we're gonna make this chickpea salad recipe. And to make this recipe, here's our ingredients. We need 2 cans of chickpeas. We're gonna rinse them and drain them. We're gonna use medium bell pepper, and I'm going to use red, kind of give it some of that nice coloring. We also need half a cup of chopped parsley. So we're going to get this parsley and we're going to chop it up. I'm not really going to measure, but I can kind of see that this is about 1.5 cups. And I need to improvise sometimes for these recipes as well, because sometimes you don't have all the ingredients ready to go. I want to go ahead and also add about half a cup of chopped red onion. So I'll probably use about half of the red onion. We're going to use half a cup of chopped celery. So I was thinking maybe 1 or 2 stalks of celery would give me about half a cup. We're also going to use 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I like using fresh limes, kind of gives it that same effect, and that's what I have, and it's probably a little bit, it's something that I like to use, so I'm going to just go ahead and use probably half a lime in place of the lemon juice that this recipe calls for. And I'm supposed to use 2 cloves of garlic that are pressed or minced, and so I'm going to go ahead and use this minced garlic. Finally, I'm going to top it off with some fine sea salt. As you can see, I don't have fine sea salt, so I'm going to use salt, and then fine freshly ground black pepper to taste. And I'm just going to use what I have on hand, so I'm going to use some black pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and start preparing these ingredients and go from there. When I have all the ingredients prepared, we'll move on to step 2. That's what's up. So first step is draining and rinsing our garbanzo beans or chickpeas. And so it's just opening those cans and using a strainer to strain out the juice that's already in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and rinse the chickpeas and have that ready to go. So now we're gonna go ahead and get the vegetables ready, and first we're gonna get this medium bell pepper and we're gonna chop it up, create a salad for the best type of cut that you like. This is kind of the way that I chop up the bell pepper and get it ready to chop up by taking out the seeds, splitting it in half and taking those seeds out. And so now it's a little bit easier to chop. And so once you've taken out those seeds, you can begin the chopping process, right? And we want about 1.5 cups is what the recipe calls for. And so you can have your measuring cup if you like. But I kind of like to estimate and add a little bit more if it looks like it needs more color, a little bit more of the recipe. If you have a really strict diet, you may want to measure all of the ingredients. So this is the way that I choose to chop up the red bell pepper. I'm just gonna go ahead and start adding all these ingredients into bowls until it's all combined, the ingredients, when it's time. Once we do the red bell pepper, I'm going to go ahead and get the fresh parsley and go ahead and use that next. So here I got this fresh parsley, and we chop this fresh parsley, and so it's nice to have the proper knife to go ahead and chop up this parsley. And If I didn't have fresh parsley, I might consider using dry parsley if I had it in a dry container. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm looking for about 1.5 cups of parsley. And so that's about right. You know, parsley has a strong taste, so I'm not sure if I really want to put in that much. I'm gonna go ahead and try this recipe with about a cup, maybe a little more than a cup. And so here you can see me kind of just combining these ingredients, getting them together one at a time. Next is my red onion, about a 1/2 cup of red onion. And it seems like a lot, and I'm making a salad, of course, so you know I got to think about the size of chopping that I want to do. I'm probably just going to use half of this onion. I think is going to be a good amount for the salad that I'm making. And of course, when you're getting these onions ready to chop, you got the layers of an onion. And so take off that dry layer is what I like to do. And as I prepare to chop this onion, I'm going to be thinking about how do I want it to be mixed with these other ingredients, and how's going to be best to pick it up with a fork. I don't like really small cubes when I cut my onion, because then when I use a fork I can't really pick stuff up. It's easier to use a spoon. So the other thing is I like my onion very thin, just because it tastes better than getting too big of a chunk. So when I do my slicing for this onion, I'm going to try to make long, super thin pieces, and I think that's going to be best for my salad. And but everyone's different. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying do what's best for you and how you think your salad is going to be best. Just combine these ingredients and make something good at the end of the recipe, I guess. So there's our onion mixed in with our parsley, mixed in with our bell pepper, and next we're gonna go ahead and add some celery, and this calls for about 1/2 cup of celery. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with one. Actually, I'll probably just go ahead and do 2. I think that's probably gonna be 1/2 cup, getting 2 stalks of celery. And hopefully this video is getting the cutting and all the right stuff. This recipe, the focus of this recipe is those chickpeas. You could always do those chickpeas, buy them dry and actually cook them. But for many people, and for me, it's more convenient to have those canned chickpeas ready to go to have a quick, easy recipe. And the chickpea, the focus of the chickpea there is that it's a legume, and so it gives us that plant-based protein. And those plant-based proteins are what we want, you know, to give us the, you know, some healthy plant proteins with the garbanzo bean. So now we have all of the vegetables ready to go, and so we're gonna go ahead and prepare for the next step, which is kind of combining these ingredients and adding those last details. Last thing though, before I stop with the vegetables, is I didn't have a fresh garlic. It calls for fresh garlic or minced garlic, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this minced garlic product over here that's been dried. And it calls for 2 cloves, but I think garlic is kind of strong, and I'm not sure about this garlic necessarily. I'm gonna just go ahead and add something that I think is gonna be reasonable for this size of salad. And so 2 cloves is kind of a lot, and I do like garlic, so I'm just gonna go ahead and be generous and add lots of this minced garlic to the recipe here. And we're gonna go ahead and cut and get ready for that. Now we're at the point where we're ready to combine all ingredients. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the chickpeas that I prepared, and I'm gonna combine them, get all these great vegetables I prepared. Start making this great salad bowl. And then add those things, those last few ingredients rather, that give them the flavor, that give this salad the flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. So I'm gonna use that olive oil, and I'm gonna add 3 teaspoons. That's really in the teaspoons of the olive oil and the fats. Of course, this is a plant-based fat. That's where the flavor sticks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of that. And we're also gonna add 3 teaspoons of lemon juice. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to use that lemon juice in a jar. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze in some fresh lemon juice into this recipe right here. It looks really nice. I love seeing all of these colors. And then this lemon juice, I can already taste it. This is what gives it that flavor. The lemon and salt is a great combination. And then that olive oil is going to help hold all that flavor together, so when it hits our taste buds, it tastes really good. Sometimes I like to Google, some of the health benefits of these ingredients that we have here. I think all of these ingredients that we have in this power salad actually are food as medicine. They're good for us. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper to taste. And depending on your diet, you might have salt alternatives, or you might have less salt, or do kind of some of those things to give your body a chance to eat healthy food. If you can find these ingredients local, that's the best way to do it. Most of these ingredients are easy to find at a grocery store too, though. So kind of the last step here is, once we have all these ingredients mixed together, and hopefully the camera is able to see in here as we kind of bring it together with our salad fork and salad spoon, and do this last kind of the fun part. It's nice to get kids involved and get them to kind of do this fun part. Speaking of which, I'm going to ask my assistant to get out of the camera and kind of mix this up a little bit for you all. He can put his little face in the picture if he likes. Just kind of mix that up, and we'll go ahead and plate it. We'll go ahead and put it on the plate, make it look pretty, and we'll be finished. So finally, we're gonna go ahead and get this beautiful garbanzo salad, and we're gonna plate this dish so we could go ahead and enjoy a taste, share with our family, eat it alone, take it for lunch, pack it in a mason jar, or go ahead and add it to your meal and eat it with whatever your main course might be. So this is kind of where we end up. And now we're ready to enjoy a little bite of all these ingredients mixed together. Tastes pretty good.